Estoy aquí con Randy Gage, con quien tendremos una entrevista en exclusiva para FuXion. Let's talk a little bit about the industry. FuXion promises true health. So that means physical health, emotional health, and financial health. What do you think about it?
If you don't have your physical health, it doesn't matter how much money you have, how many things you have, how many degrees you've had, how many achievements you've had. When you don't have your health, it's miserable.
Absolutely.
And you need the mental health, you need the mindset, you need the financial health too, because you know, they say, well, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, that's true. Money doesn't buy happiness, but poverty doesn't buy happiness either. It's a very serious distraction, and it's hard to be at peace and harmony with yourself. So I think you need all those areas of your life working well to really create prosperity and abundance.
I've heard, talking about MLM, that Latin America is right now as Asia was 20 years ago. What do you think about it?
The whole profession of network marketing is operating at a much higher level, and it enjoys a much better reputation and acceptance in the marketplace. We've learned so much about the business. The business has gained such credibility. 20 years ago, there was a lot of skepticism. There was, well, is this a legitimate network marketing company, or is this a pyramid scheme or a money game? You don't even hear those objections anymore. The truth is, those haven't been around for 10 years or 15 years because there's so many successful companies now. We have literally a couple hundred companies producing like 30 billion US dollars a year in sales. You've got very famous institutional investors like Warren Buffett, who owns 3 different companies in our profession. You have some very esteemed and credible authors for entrepreneurs, whether it was My Risky is the New Safe book, which was a New York Times bestseller. You've got Robert Kiyosaki and all of his Rich Dad bestseller books. He's talked about this business. David Bach, another financial planner with a lot of great reputation, talks about the benefit of this business. So 20 years ago, they didn't have that. We have that, and now it's really starting to take root in Latin America. And you know Latins, they're passionate people. When they get in something, no matter what it is, they do it with passion, intensity, and urgency.
Awesome. You mentioned that objections are not the same. What do you think the most common objections are these days?
These days, it's never about the pyramid or money. That's gone away. I think what it is now is the time. Hey, I don't have time for this. That's probably the biggest objection, because people always say, well, you know, I can't afford to go to a big event. Why don't you go and take good notes and come back and tell me? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. You cannot replace what takes place at an event like that. Everybody's working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Mom is working, dad is working. That didn't happen 25, 30 years ago. You know, the father worked, the mother was at home, the father worked 1 job. So there's definitely an issue of time. But for the people who are doing the business, they got to understand, well, we need to use that in the positive aspect of, this is why you need to do this business, because you don't have the time.
Absolutely.
Because you don't own your life, because you really don't have control of your day. And if you're willing to make a sacrifice, if you will work this for 2 to 4 years or 2 to 5 years, we can show you how to fire your boss and take your life back. Get control of your own destiny. You're going to have to give up some television. You're going to have to give up some recreation. But if you'll do that for 2 to 4 years, 2 to 5 years, then you can really have financial security, independence, freedom, and really set your schedule however you want to set it.
So what makes you decide to go and do this presentation for FuXion?
Like I say, I love Latin America. I think it's a wonderful part of the world. Peru was the first foreign country I ever visited when I was like 20 years old, I think.
Awesome.
So I went to Peru and learned about ceviche and Inca Cola. And You know, I have been to Chile and Ecuador and Argentina and Mexico dozens of times. So I think every country from which you're going to have people here, I've probably worked in all of those. I've been hearing a lot on Facebook and Twitter. A lot of your people are sending me messages, so it's been nice to connect with them. I know they're excited about the event, and I'm excited to meet everybody there.